Hi, Lori.
Hi, Sophia.
Nice to meet you.
So fun to do it with you this time. We've never done it before together.
Oh,
It's gonna be a
yes,
lot
first.
of fun.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I've seen some of the your previous recordings, so I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm working with Lori. Okay, perfect. Nice.
Super. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun. And what I always do with Randall, like I just love to flow a bit. And then at some point there's breakout rooms, and I always say out loud how long and how many people. So we're kind of feeling the room. So if that works for you, that really works for me. So
Perfect.
yeah,
Yeah.
anything that I can do to make your
No, I
contribution
mean,
easier, more
yeah,
fun.
well, just a couple of questions. So would you like to run your slides or do you want me to run them for you? You do it?
I'll do it. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then I saw one focus time in your presentation. I didn't see a breakout room. Did I miss that? Or what slide would you like to have up during breakout if there's going to be one?
Yeah, so what I always like to do is before so they have focus time, and then
Mhm.
after the focus time, they are going to share their answers in the smaller groups, and then they're
Okay.
coming back with the breakthroughs and the sessions. So I'll do
Okay,
some hot.
perfect.
So it depends a little bit on the group because last time I had like one woman for like 15 minutes, but it was so valuable for everybody. And sometimes I have like just a couple and it's not so profound. So it just
Mhm.
depends on where we're feeling it, and we're always just having a good time, and that's the best vibe to go with it. Today we're gonna have a
Um,
really fun lesson, by the way. We're gonna have a role play.
ooh, okay,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, it's
Perfect.
gonna.
So, okay, so I'll just wait for your cues, whatever you want, based on the room, reading the room and all that kind of stuff. I'll just be listening to you.
Perfect.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so I will open up the room about 2 minutes before, and when the song ends, maybe like a minute after, then I'll end the song, introduce you, and then you can take over.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay,
Super.
perfect. Awesome. All
Let's
right. Hi, hello, hello, wonderful people. How are you doing today? Good to see your faces. Alice, Ruth, hi, Sean, Rocky, Paulina, Linda, Otters in the house. I know you can hear me. You can write that down. Welcome to this wonderful session that we have with Lori. She's going to be our speaker, and she is going to be talking about overcoming the fear of public speaking. Yes. Woo! I'm Sophia, one of the coaches over here. Welcome, welcome. I'll be supporting you in the chat. So if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. And if you can please have your name first and last in your Zoom box, all of you have right now, so you're doing perfect. You don't have to do anything. If you can turn on your cameras, that would be awesome. So we have your live presence, obviously, if it's safe. If not, then it's okay. You can stay off camera. And if you can please keep yourselves muted, and when it is time for Q&A or to ask a question, if you can raise your virtual hand, and then Lori will call on you. So yeah, how are you guys feeling today? Let's see some movement. Yes. Woo, woo. Awesome. Great, great. Perfect. All right. So without further ado, Miss Lori, take it away.
All right, all right, all right. Welcome back. I see a lot of familiar faces. This is absolutely awesome. And I'll always put my Zoom on gallery so I see all of you. Who is here, not for the first time, who's been in the speaking skill classes before, make a move, whatever, make it clear that it is. And if you're here like, oh, these people are waving. There's a lot of people waving. Who's here for the first time? Who sees my face for the first time? Sean, Ghost, Helga, Lee, I hope I pronounced your name right. What a beautiful name. Beautiful. Oh, welcome. We are going to get on a magical experience. It's always a magical experience here with our transformational mindset. And today we're talking about the funnest part of public speaking, because I can tell you all the skills and all the strategies and how to get on stage and how to get paid as a speaker, who, by the way, would love to get on a stage and being paid as a speaker. I'm telling you, it's all possible. You're in the right place at the right time. The only thing is, sometimes, we can have the skills, we can have the strategies. I can tell you exactly how to get there. But then there's a voice. I don't think I'm good enough. I'm afraid of public speaking. Let's just say that, we put public speaking on a scale of 1 to 10. And then a 10 would be, a 10 in confidence would be, oh my God, I am ready now. Lori, it is that you are training right now, but next year I'm going to be one of the speakers. I'm going to be here. I'm ready to speak right now. Give me the mic. Just give me the hand. I'm going to raise my hand. I want a hot seat, everything. I'm ready. Let's just say that's a 10. And then on the other side, there's a little like, I don't think it's my time yet. I don't like to be seen at all, actually. I don't like to confess this because it's maybe a little embarrassing, but it's just how I feel right now. Even to be on camera takes a little bit of courage. People are already putting their numbers in the chat, just out of transparency. And by the way, that's what we're doing here. We're here to really help each other get to a higher number. If you're a 1, we're going to celebrate your 1.1. If you're 10, we're going to celebrate you too. And we're going to get to a 25. Doesn't matter where you are, but where do you feel you are right now? If you would put it in the chat. Carolyn is here for the... I think, Carolyn, you never missed a training. You are already like 8 and 9. We've got some 8, 5, 7, 2, 6, 10, 10. Nice. 7, 9, 7, 8. Beautiful. 10. Wow. We got a lot of 25s to come. There we go. And we got a 2.1 to go through. Because what I said, there's no right or wrong. There's just what is. And what we're going to learn today is how to first not be ashamed of your number, whatever it is. Like if it's lower, who would love to raise their number after this lesson? Wherever you are now, like who's willing to go next level where you are right now? That's what we want. That's what we want. We want to acknowledge where you are. We don't want to blame it. We don't want to feel embarrassed. We don't want to have any judgment around it. We're going to understand actually the 3 reasons. How many reasons? 3 reasons why that is, and then how you can uplift them through actually quite simple exercises, because we start to solve the right problem with the right solution. Because who here has ever heard, you know, just take 3 deep breaths? That's what you need to do, right? Who has ever heard that advice? Just breathe in and breathe out, be present, and then you speak. Who here has ever heard it, tried it, and it didn't work? I can do both hands for sure. So I'm not saying it's not the right thing to do. I'm saying there's different causes, different reasons why your number is here, and we're going to understand what those 3 are, and then how to handle those 3. So we're gonna have a fun game. By the way, I always love to share these 3 values that I have in my personal life, my business life, everywhere I go, and that is to do everything most fun, easy, and impactful as possible. So we're gonna have some extra fun today. Maybe some of you have already done this in a previous speaking exercise. We're gonna see some minions and we're gonna do some role plays. Further, I'm not gonna tell you anything. I'm just gonna start with the 3 reasons why your current number is like that. And the first one is quite an obvious one, but I want to mention it, is preparation. The first one is preparation. The second and the third are a little bit more deep. But if you don't prepare, I can totally understand that you're a little nervous. Because if you don't know what's going to come out of your mouth when you're standing on a big stage and then so many people are looking at you, I can imagine that people are saying breathe in and breathe out. I'm saying, like, let's breathe in and breathe out as well, but let's just keep, prepare too. Does it make sense that when you don't prepare, then you are actually nervous because you have no idea what's going to come out of your mouth, and that creates a lot of uncertainty, and uncertainty creates thoughts create emotions, and so forth and so forth. So I just wanted to kind of check that off as well, because again, the other 2 are more profound, but sometimes we need to figure out what the problem is first to solve it with the right solution. And we can go deep in time and go to subconscious and then figure out that you actually just didn't prepare. So let's start there. Are we cool? We cool with checking that first box off, preparing, having the aim? And in next lessons, we're talking about how to best prepare. In past lessons, we already talked a little bit about it, but we always go on. So if you're like, how do I do that? Just keep following these lessons and we're going to talk about how to do that, okay? The second reason why your number is like this is because of human wiring. Now that may get some frowns, like, what do you mean with that? But let's write it down first. The second reason is human wiring. So what does that mean? Nice, Carrie. Put it in the chat over there. Good job. So what does that mean? As humans, we are literally designed to survive and not to thrive. I'm going to say that again. As humans, we are designed to survive, not to thrive. So what does that mean? Let's imagine that we are in a jungle, okay? I've never been in a jungle. I don't know how about these animal stuff, but let's just say that we're climbing a tree because why not? We're having an adventure over there. And then this lion, if they're in I don't know if they're in forest, let's just go there for a bit. There's a lion coming and we don't want to be eaten by a lion, okay? In those situations, it's perfect that we are not thinking about, okay, you know what? Lori taught us something about a story library and collecting stories. No, you're not focusing on stories. You're focusing on how do I get away from this lion because I don't want to be eaten. I want to survive. And most part of, or like a very big part of our brain is constantly focused on that. Okay, I'm gonna actually show you a picture for the visual learners amongst us. There's always people who love to hear it. There's people who love to see it, but there's feel it, but there's also people who love to see it. So I'm gonna share a picture. Because our brain is focused on survival, not on thriving. And basically, let's just say that there's little minions. Can you see my screen, by the way? Can you give a thumbs up? Perfect. Little minions inside of our head who are constantly looking out for us. Those are our helpers. They want to help us survive. So when we are just, walking around the forest and then the lion comes, one is like, hey, 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 pay attention. There's a lion coming. Focus because we don't want to be eaten. We don't like that. The other one is like, hey, I see a tree. Let's climb in the tree, right? So there's all this kind of minions who are helping us out, but they're all focused on survival. So when we are in a state where our brain or our body thinks that we're surviving, we're focusing on just that. Now, based on our primal parts, what do we think that these voices say about public speaking? Based on we are designed to survive, not to thrive. And yes, the minions are helping us to survive. So what about public speaking? What are some opinions about these minions around public speaking? It's scary. Yes. Why is it scary? Why is it scary according to our minions? Our minions just have the question, how can we make sure they're not going to die? Why are these minions scared of public speaking? It's not you who's afraid, these minions. Why are they afraid? All right, there's a lot of fear. There's a flight or flight. People will make fun of me. You're putting yourself out there. Yes, Angela, really good one. Don't do it. What are people going to think of me? Yes, these are all things. Don't do it. They're going to laugh. I will forget what I'm going to say. Judgment. What are you drinking? That's tea. Thank you for that question. So there's a lot of thoughts, right? There's a lot of thoughts that those minions are telling you, so you get them in their brain. And the main belief that those minions have is when you speak your truth on a stage, aka your tribe, who's going to help you survive because there's more people and together we can fight the lion. We will win when we're together, right? So when I'm standing there all alone and I'm really speaking in my vulnerable way, because that's the most magical way where people get really engaged and compelled to work with you. And then what if they don't like you? They're kicking you out of the tribe, which to our primal survival brain means you're going to die alone. So the reason why your number is like this is not just only regarding the preparation, but also based on our human wiring. So it's quite normal that we fear public speaking if we don't actively work with those voices, work with those minions, show them, hey, minions, you see what we're trying to do over here. We have this big goal and I want you to know it's safe and I want to show you why. I want to negotiate with you. I want to tell you stories about why it's actually safe. But this is not an easy job because there's a third reason why our number is like this and why we need to work on those kind of things to get it up. And that third reason is our previous life experiences. The third reason is our previous life experiences. And I love that I see so many foreheads right now. You're playing full out. I love this. Writing it down there. So let's just say that those minions are with us from the time that we are born. And from the age from 0 to 7, they were really, really paying attention. Like they were an extra guard. So everything that happens, besides just the way we are designed as humans, we were paying extra attention, like what's right and what's not, in order for us to survive. Now, who has a moment in time? It can be like throughout your whole life, but maybe there's specifically something that you're thinking of when you were younger that in real life showed you that speaking is actually not that safe. And you got negative feelings, either people were making fun of you or you were, I was always this kid who was enjoying learning. And I always raised my hand when there was a question until, let's not call them friends, people in my class said, that's her again. It was not a positive tone, it's her again. So my minions started to see, okay, for me to belong to this group, maybe I should raise my hand a little less. Right? Who can familiarize yourself with something like this? I see a lot of head nods. I see people are like, yeah, right? So now your minions, they're not only just born like this because they want to help you survive, but you also got life experience that were actually really painful around speaking up. Now, I don't know what you went through. You know that. What I do know is that I heard some stories that I didn't even know were possible. One of the people I worked with, she actually connected, not hypothetically, this is what she saw with her own eyes. She was actually in that situation, being a woman, loving woman, which was totally uncool in that moment. And she saw that speaking up for your authentic truth, which is what I keep saying, that's the best version you can be, means being electrocuted to death. So I can say, listen, there's 4 steps to create a transformational keynote. And she might write it all down. But then her minions are like, bullshit, bullshit. Sorry for my French over there. This is dangerous. We're not doing this. Right? So the number that you have right now is totally perfect. It's totally perfect. And there's 3 reasons why it's like this. It's either because you didn't prepare. I'm sure you're not one of those because you're here. You're one of the amazing high achievers who pays for education and is willing to show up on a Thursday to learn more, to be more, to impact more, and to earn more. Do you recognize yourself? Is that you? Am I right? I know I am. Look at you. You're freaking amazing. So there's 2 left, right? We have minions who are born in a certain way, just with us. They're just in our heads. They're everybody's. Dean has those 2. He started to just negotiate with them and we're more on the same team. So instead, because that's what some people say, right? Like, let's just get over it. Like, what happens? Because now I'm gonna share some other photos and actually introduce you to 3 specific minions that are in your head. And what we're going to do is we're gonna see how we can actually work together with these voices because they're here to survive, to help us survive. Now, we cannot thrive if we're not surviving. So we're kind of on the same team over here. We're not here to distract the minions and to say, oh, we just don't care about what you're saying, because they're here for a reason. And when we want to, like, play dumb on them, if you say it like this, like hold candy and say, like, look the other way so I can do my speaking engagement, and they find out that you did and something negative happened, they will be on extra guard and they will tighten up their rules. So we, instead of want to like distract it or fight against them, we want to embrace them, love them, and work together. Who's ready to work together with your inner minions and have some grace? Because they've been protecting you this far. Like, they're amazing. We just want to understand what their goals are. So when we understand their goals, just like someone who wants to work with you, it's not you that knows it all and says, you need my program. We want to understand where they are coming from, so we can understand where they are, so we can influence them in the way where they want to go as well. They're just afraid. They just don't know any better, and that's okay. That's why we are the impact makers. We are the speakers. Leaders are speakers. and speakers are leaders. So I'm going to introduce you to the 3 main minions who are in charge. And then we're going to do some role plays to figure out how this really works, okay? So I'm going to share my screen again, which is always a fun part. By the way, everybody who is older than me, which I think is everybody, and says, technology is really hard, that's for young people. Young people have to figure it out too, that's no excuse. We have to figure it out too. So there we go. There we go. Look at this. Amazing. All working. Ha! Okay. So the first minion that's in our brain is what we call Danny Danger. And Danny Danger talks a little bit like this. He's quite loud, he talks quite fast, and he's always ready to find danger. When he thinks there's some dangerous parts that's coming at you, he puts his hand on the alarm, he slams it, and he's not afraid to push it, okay? He rather does it extra when it was not necessary, then forgets it one time because he was doubting, and then you actually become in danger. Okay, that's Danny Danger. That's the first minion, And I want to really think of this because we're going to play some role play. So really start to familiarize yourself with these voices, okay? Danny Danger. The second one is Lazy Larry. Lazy Larry does not like to spend too much energy, okay? Lazy Larry loves everything certain and known. He's not a fan of new because that always costs energy. Doesn't like it. And he talks a little bit like this. It's more slow paced. And yeah, that was kind of it. So let's look at number 3, okay? Because number 3 is Consistent Chris. And Consistent Chris talks a little bit like this, and he loves order. He loves when it is all going the same, okay? 1 and 1 is what? 1 and 1 is what? 1 and 1 is 2, ladies and gentlemen, because that is order, that is logic, and that is linear. He loves it when it's predictable. When it's predictable, that's like the most important thing, more than results. Okay, predictability, safety. He loves SOPs. Who has ever heard of SOPs? SOPs are standard operating procedures. These are checklists, my friends. Chris loves checklists. Step 1, step 2, step 3. We need to know the order. Now, these voices are not just part of a super fun game that helps us be less scared of public speaking in 90 minutes, but they're also based on how the brain actually works, okay? So when we are focused on survival, not on thriving, this is actually some laws of our body, right? Our body is always mitigating, like, is this worth our energy? Because when we need to survive, we need our energy for survival. So everything extra we need to measure, right? We need to pay attention to stuff that's dangerous based on either our primary instinct when it's actually dangerous, just as the lion example, or when our past experience show that it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through some past experiences, some true scenarios, and we are going to play this out. Okay, so I'm going to give an example first of a situation of what can be a past experiences that you may go through or you went through or you can familiarize yourself with. I'm going to say the statement and then I need 3 volunteers. Okay, so I'm already saying this. So now you can already say, oh, hey, that's me. So when she's going to ask, I'm going to raise my hand because I'm a speaker. Okay. So then I need 3 volunteers who are all going to play one of these characters. Okay, they're either going to play Danny Danger who thinks that everything is dangerous and everything needs to protect it, and he talks a little bit like this, and maybe this is out of your comfort zone. That's exactly why you should volunteer for this role, because this is your moment to shine in a safe place. Second one was Lazy Larry. If you are the person who always talks a lot and always sees opportunities, then this might be your role, to just create a little contrast in the way you speak, which is exactly what engages people. And then the last one is Consistent Chris. Consistent Chris loves specificity, loves construct, loves rules. So if you are the chaotic one, this might be a really cool one for you to play in the moment, because you can find the part of yourselves that loves these rules I'm going to tell you. They're all there. They're just, some are underdeveloped, and that's exactly the reason why we're doing this. And the reason behind this game is that you're going to see it's not you. You are not afraid. You have gone through some things that your minions now are there to protect you, to die on your own. And when we play this in the game, that's actually kind of fun. You're gonna feel the vibe. We're gonna laugh together. And we're gonna celebrate, by the way, the brave ones who are going to be one of these three. We're gonna have multiple rounds, so you're gonna have your chance. I see you, Kanlaya. This is gonna be fun. I told you so. Because when we start to experience that it's first of all not you, but the minions, you can step away from it. You can have some grace for these minions. Second is what we're doing. We're laughing around speaking. So we are rebuilding our neurological association, to be super fancy with words, with speaking, which is going to help you to get on stage faster. Because, and that's why you're all here, you are impact makers. You have something. Who has something that's going to help other people when they get their hands on it, when they spend more time with you? That's why we're here, okay? We're going to make it easier for people to find you and easier for people to say yes to you, because they already established an emotional connection because they've listened to you for a while. That's what we're doing. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the stage for 3 people to raise their hand right now. This is your moment. Who's gonna do it? Oh, we've got some people. Oh, I see 3. Okay. I saw Angela first, then I saw Edita, and then I saw, oh, where are you? Got, Gun, okay, I'm really hoping I'm saying it right. Gunlia. So this is an exciting situation for Sophia, because she's now looking at everybody. And the other one was Edita, or Edita. Or
Editor.
yeah,
Let it be editor.
Edita. Perfect. So
Hi
we'll
guys, it's me, Kanlaya.
Ganlaya. Super.
Yeah,
Okay,
Kanlaya.
we got
Yes,
our-
yes,
we got
that's
our-
correct. Yeah.
Super. So I'm gonna say the name, and then whoever raises their hand first is gonna play that role. Okay. So Danny Danger. It's gonna be Danny Danger. Okay, perfect. Ganlaya. Who is gonna be Lazy Larry?
I'll be Lazy Larry.
Super. And then Consistent Chris.
Yeah.
Okay.
Edita. Perfect. All right. So the situation that we're going to play, and for everybody, by the way, who's not role playing, first of all, sometimes we think that as speakers, we need to speak loudest, but sometimes we just need to listen with more presence. Okay. So everybody here is a transformational speaker. You just have a different facet of it. Okay. Second of all, you're going to observe and you're going to recognize, is this something that actually happens within me? And then third of all, you're going to see, okay, which role am I going to play in the next round? We're going to do this a couple of times. So the statement is, in high school, I was a great presenter. Yet I did see one of my friends struggle and get laughed at. So I'm going to say it one more time. So in high school, I was a great presenter. What I saw, one of my friends struggle and get laughed at. Now, I'm not asking your opinion as a person. I'm asking the opinion as the character you play. So before you're going to share your opinion as the character, let's please introduce yourself. So, Lazy Larry, I've heard that you truly have an opinion about the statement. Would you mind sharing to the crowd today who it is that you are and from what perspective you're looking today?
Well, when I was in high school, it was such a bummer because I took all the energy that I had and I was totally putting it out there. But then my really good friend, they just, they put themselves out there, they did all these things and they were trying and they were good at it. But now, as an adult, I look back and I'm just like, there's no way, dude, I'm not doing that. So,
Okay, big round of applause for Lazy Larry. Danny Danger, would you mind introducing yourself today to the crowd? Who are you?
Hi, my name is Kanlaya. I'm from Thailand. I'm originally from Thailand. Now I'm living in Australia, but
Kanlaya,
firstly,
I'm sure you're super excited. I'm gonna interrupt you for
yeah,
present love because we don't know who Kanlaya is right now. We are curious about Danny Danger. So you
yeah,
being Danny Danger, who are you as Danny Danger? You're completely transformed to Danny Danger.
yeah,
So
yeah,
who is
okay.
Danny Danger?
Oh God.
And if I would do it just for an example, I would be something like, "Hello, everybody. I'm Danny Danger. I'm really protective. I love to protect. I don't like danger. So when there's danger, I put the alarm." Something like this.
Okay, okay. Oh God. I know it's have to use a lot of voice for this, but my God.
You got this.
Yeah. What should I start? Can you give me advice more, please?
Maybe you could start with, "Hey, everybody. I am Danny Danger."
Okay. Hey, everybody, I am a Danny Danger. Is that okay?
That's
No, it's not enough.
perfect. That was enough. Well done. Give a round of applause for Danny Danger. Beautiful.
God,
And
that's so cool. That's
Kanlaya,
why I need this training. That's
I
why I
want to
need this
acknowledge
training.
you right now. I want to acknowledge you right now because what you're doing is expanding, right? This feels a
Yeah.
little uncomfortable, and that's the goal. Okay,
Is
the
it have
goal
to
is not
use
to be
high voice?
perfect.
Is that have to use high voice? Right?
No, you don't have to use a high voice. The only thing that you want to do right now is really, really go into that character with the
Yeah.
goal of recognizing when that voice is playing in your head because it's not you, right?
Uh-huh.
Because maybe
Yep.
right now you have some feelings around even your role right now, like, oh, this is a little weird. This is like, how do I need to do this? But that's the practice and you're doing it. So well done. So
Thank you. Thank
we've
you.
got one more. We have Consistent Chris. Who are you, Consistent Chris?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Consistent Chris, and I imagine now everybody looking at you and trying to just judge me if I'm speaking correctly. Okay, 50% of you already are gonna make me feel ashamed. But okay, the rest of you are gonna be pretty much okay. So I will go for this. Okay.
Oh dear.
I'll stick to those 50% of you who gonna like me a bit. I hope so. Okay, then.
Yeah, this was great. This is exactly what Consistent Chris
That's so
would do.
cool.
That is
That's
well
so
done.
cool.
So good. So now we have our statement, okay? In high school, I was a great presenter, but I did see one of my friends struggle. So being Consistent Chris, what would you say when I, as a host, would say, "Oh my God, the next speaker of the day is you"? And now you have the opportunity. But now you're Consistent Chris in this situation. What would Consistent Chris say to that person?
I just want to make sure I understand correctly the task. So, as a Consistent Chris, I am to tell that person who is being laughed at.
You're the friend. So there's a friend. Okay, there's a friend. You are the person. There's a friend. The
Okay.
friend gets laughed at. But now this person who was a good presenter, but their friend got laughed at, now has a speaking opportunity. You being Consistent Chris, what would you say?
Okay, to that friend that he is now going to speak. Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So now, you just think you're gonna step up on the stage. Yes. So you take a deep breath. Think for a moment. It's gonna take only 5 minutes. And in the afternoon, you will forget about it. Okay? So you will not think about it anymore. It will be done. Good. So second thing, you have to memorize. Before you step and before you open your minds, you simply breathe in. That's the second thing. Okay? Memorized? Write it down. Write it down. You will forget. Good. The third thing you're gonna do, you're just gonna check your microphone. Okay? You say 1, 2, 3. Do you hear me? Okay? Did you do that? Check it out. Good. Did you check it out on the list? Yes. Okay. Now let's go to the fourth step. You look into the eyes of someone in the crowd. Did you do it?
This
Did you
is
manage
great.
it?
And consistent Chris would never finish. Like he has to be interrupted because he's like the, okay, but I also need to do this. So this consistent Chris, because there's different types of consistent Chris. This types of consistent Chris that you're doing right now is the overthinking, right? You're like, oh my God, because he got bullied and now I need to check up 1, check up 3. You know what? I checked 5 things, but I think there's a 6 and I think there's a 7. So will consistent Chris eventually stand on stage? You don't even know because he's still checking boxes. So that was really, really well done. Again, it's not you who's overthinking this. It's consistent Chris who wants to protect you, who's overthinking this. Okay. So let's see what Lazy Larry. So now there's this opportunity. Oh my God. The next speaker of the day is you. What will Lazy Larry think?
Well, I guess I could try, if I've got, my friend Danny and Chris with me, we can muster a little energy to get me out there. I don't know, maybe think of something to say.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe, yeah. You're not completely sure. Because last time you saw someone else hurt and now, whew, it's a lot to think about, don't you think? Maybe we should think about it a little longer, maybe? What do you think?
Yeah, because, I know what's going to happen. So
Mhm.
it's
Yeah,
why try?
yeah. Well, I think this is an interesting concept. Hypothetically, maybe we can talk about it next week again, one more time, just to make sure. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's wait. Let's wait a while. That'd be good.
That was exactly what Lazy Larry would do. It's not you who is procrastinating or whatever you're putting it aside. It is this Lazy Larry guy who's sitting there and like, hey, you remember? Oh, actually, it's probably saved in your subconscious. You don't even remember. I remember it for you. And I'm going to tell you that you need to think about it a little longer. Don't go for it now. Like, there's an opportunity right in front of you, but there will be 10 more, I think. And if not, we're safe and sound in our bubble bath and we don't need to move from there. You know what? We have a sleeping bag and it's quite comfy. Our feet are really warm and that's comfortable. It's really nice. Like that, an ice bath is really healthy. Lazy Larry, he couldn't give anything about that, right? He just wants to be comfortable. He just wants to be comfortable. It's not you who's not getting on stages because you are procrastinating. It's Lazy Larry who says, hey, I love this for you. I want this all for you. But you remember that time where someone else experienced pain? You don't want that. And I'm just here to protect you. Okay? I'm just here to protect you. So that was an excellent way to play Lazy Larry. So, Danny
I
Danger.
don't like Lazy Larry. That was the hardest one for me to play. I was like, I could do the other two.
So that's beautiful that you raise your hand anyways, because you're creating more contrast, more comfort with a different variety of being, and that's the most beautiful version. It's not you, it's the part that's less developed, right? Because we're all of them. Some of them are more our natural interest, and that's what we developed more. And when we can tie into all of them, understand all of them, And that's the goal. It's not to fight them. It's not to distract them. Because when we distract Lazy Larry and say, hey, read this book, haha, you will love it. And then we go, and then he's like, holy moly, now you experience pain. I'm going to be paying more attention. So my rules of laziness will be even higher. I'm not even going from the bubble bath to the sleeping bag. I'm going to stay in the sleeping bag for all, right? So we don't want that. We want to understand, hey, I got you. You don't want to spend so much energy, and I don't want to experience pain. So we're on the same track. Let's find out what you would like, what rules would feel comfortable, so I can actually go out there, because that's what we want. So this is where it starts to get fun. So let's go through to Danny Danger. Danny Danger, what do you think? Speaking after you saw a friend get humiliated on stage.
Hey, let's get it. Get it done. Get ready. People waiting for you out there. Don't you be fear for that. Yeah. Just be
Wow.
confident. Something like that. Is that okay?
You are an epic voice.
Yeah.
If we all want to get out there, we have to channel our Kanlaya Danny Danger version. Like, that's a really friendly Danny Danger. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I think you're modeling really well what a positive voice could look like. Maybe I will rephrase it as Danny cheerleader. Amazing job of that, because sometimes what I've heard from an extreme Danny Danger who's really dangerous says, ho 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 ho, I don't want you to go there. I don't even want you to be near any stages, because every time you're close to a stage, you see at least one person gets laughed at. I don't want this for you, so don't even get yourself close. Apply for speaking engagement, that's even too far. Don't go anywhere. You know what? Don't even show up on camera, because every time people look at you, they laugh. There's probably something wrong with you, so please stay away and die in your hammock. That's an extreme version, you know? That's a little too extreme. So, well done, you all. Big round of applause. We'll put you back into the room. Is it clear for everybody with a raise of hands what we're doing over here? And maybe some people just getting a bit later and they're like, what are we doing? All right, so we'll unmute you as well, and we're gonna play one more round, because before we get into focus time. For whom is this useful, by the way? Who saw some aspects of yourself that now are just a little funny because we're all going through them? But when we see it in this way, we can laugh about it. We can see it as an external thing. So what I would love to do before I'm gonna choose the next 3 people who maybe raise their hand, and maybe I'm just gonna like lovingly look at them in their eyes, and then they're gonna give me this one super small thing, like, okay, you have my permission to choose me, because sometimes it's those people who get the biggest transformation. What I want to do first is I want to give an invitation for someone. If you want, I have more examples that I can pick from. But is there something that you would like to share that you went through, that you feel comfortable to share right now? And we're not going to make fun of that situation. We're going to see what those 3 voices probably would share. Kyle, was it a hand? Perfect. Thank you, by the way, for your vulnerability. What is something you went through?
So I always told myself that if anybody ever asked me what most embarrassing moment in my life would have been, I would tell them. I would be vulnerable. I would tell them. So I'm a voiceover actor and I'm a singer. And I was chosen to sing the national anthem at a baseball game. I forgot the words in the middle of the song. When I realized I forgot the words, if you've all been to a baseball game and understand the echo that happens inside of the stadium, you hear everything about 3 seconds after you say it. Hello, hello. My name is Kyle, right? That's what it sounds like in a baseball stadium. Well, here I am, for the land, doing my thing, right? And I forgot the words and I went, oh shit. I whispered under my breath, but out loud. My microphone captured it, and I heard myself say, oh shit, to myself. And I was like, oh my God, I got 2 things I can do here. I can be the danger guy, or I can run off the stage. Now, I was actually both. So I just pulled the words out of my pocket. I literally picked a spot, and thank God it was the same spot that I'd forgotten at. And I just started singing again, and I had a big finish, right? I was like, screw it. I've got nothing else to lose now. I had friends and family and coworkers all in the stadium. As soon as I got done, I gave the microphone to the guy, and I took off and got in my car and almost left.
Oh wow.
It
Okay,
was
so
like,
you-
it was my friend, it was my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife. I called her because we did have cell phones back then, and she's like, no, just come back to the stadium, nobody cares. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. But I still have that on videotape, and I have it in a secret place that no one else knows. I'm gonna post it someday. But
Okay.
that was one of those times where I've got 10,000 or plus people watching me. I forget the words, and I had to adapt and overcome. And then I fell into the Debbie Dowder or whatever
Get it.
yeah.
Yes, thank you. So first of all, thank you for your vulnerability. And before I'm gonna choose the 3 people, I want to share 2 golden nuggets. If it's okay with you, Kyle, and everybody, you can nod to help you prevent that ever from happening. Okay. And the first thing is actually what happens with your focus based on what we just learned about the difference between survival and thriving. By the way, whoever forgot their words too, or is so afraid of that ever happen again, that's what's holding you back right now to stand on stage. Okay, so thank you, Kyle, because this is the beauty. When you share it, other people resonate with. And some people actually resonate with just the baseball itself, right? So just sharing personal stories really helps you to create emotional connection with others. We can go on and on about this. But what happens is when you focus on the survival, when you focus on, I hope I do a good job, I hope I get really good, I hope other people are not judging me. So you're focused on the survival, not the thrive. What happens is that the attention goes from the part where you actually memorize and remember your stuff to all the voices of our minions. So what happens on a physiology level is that your blood is actually more focused. The attention, the focus is more on the survival. So you're giving that part of your body more space, while there's less space and less attention on the part that actually remembers these things. So what we can do in that moment is really go back to gratitude and contribution, because when we're focusing on others, we're focusing on thriving, we're helping ourselves to focus on the thriving part. You've may heard of it, right? It's like the difference between nervousness and excitement is actually where we focus on. Is the bad outcome or is the good outcome? And it can be that simple. I'm not saying it's easy, I say it's simple, or the other way around. It can be easy, but it's not always simple in the moment. The second thing is whenever these kind of things happen, because sometimes they just do. You know, I have multiple stories, multiple, that are a little embarrassing and on stage. But right now I changed the meaning. And this is what Kyle did as well. And that's why he raised his hand, which I acknowledge you for, Kyle, is it's not a bad thing. It's actually a story that when I tell it, other people can learn from. So right now you can go through all those moments where you felt embarrassed and you doing all these things. And what if this becomes a story that you can tell, and you can tell how you overcame it in your industry? So people emphasize with this feeling, because everybody feels it at some point, the embarrassment, the forgetting of something. But when you can say, this is where I'm now, it actually becomes part of your teaching. So those are 2 good things to take from that. So let's play it one more time before we go into focus time, and we're gonna use Kyle's example. Okay, so you've been Kyle, you've been standing in a baseball, you've been singing the song, you were like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And it was like going all over, it was one big echo. And now I'm asking, like, who would love to raise your hand and share something? But, you know, not being you, not being Kyle, being the Danny Danger in Cal, being the consistent Chris in Cal, being the lazy Larry in Cal. Okay, so now I feel a lot of pressure because there's more hands than 3. So I'm just gonna pick in this case, the first 3. And then later on, we're gonna do some hot seats and I'm gonna intuitively pick, okay? So Sophia, I would love to bring Sean, Ruth, and Paulina to the stage. Big round of applause for everybody in the crowd. You're not just transformational speakers, you're also transformational listeners. So You know how it's going now. So we need Danny Danger. Who's gonna be? Okay, Paulina, you're gonna be Danny Danger. We need a Lazy Larry. Sean, Ruth, Consistent Chris. It is, okay?
Gotta be consistent, Chris.
Okay, so before we go, please introduce yourself. Who do we got? Look, we have Danny Danger. Who are you?
Hi, excuse me. My name is Paulina, and should I start acting my role now?
Right away. We
Kyle,
don't know
Kyle,
who
don't
Paulina
you
is.
ever do that? You should not ever come back. Like, that was really bad. That echo, everything, everybody laughed at you. Everybody thought it was like, how could you? And even just say, oh shit, that's so bad for your career. Your career is gonna crumble to the ground. Do you ever show your face ever again? That was truly bad.
So,
That was so
Danny
bad.
Danger, I love that you're really enjoying your role, and this one is even more severe than the last one. What would Danny Danger say if Kyle wants to go on a new speaking opportunity? What would Danny Danger say?
Just don't do it.
Mm.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Your career is long gone now. They only want they only
Wow.
want people that don't make mistakes. They want trained professional people, not the kind that you are anymore. You used to be, but it just can't happen anymore. So don't just don't go there ever
Okay.
again.
Okay. Okay. So I'm a little like I'm getting a little uncomfortable from this Danny Danger. Whoever has this voice though inside of your head, who is so strict, like so like extreme in a way, right? Now we laugh about it, but do you do this to yourself, right? This is not you. This is Danny Danger. And Danny Danger wants to protect you because he doesn't want you to feel that embarrassment ever again that you felt in that big baseball stadium. So well done, Paulina. So, Lazy Larry, in Cal, you have the opportunity to speak again. What do you think?
Connection's unstable. Hold on one second.
Oh, that's exactly what Lazy Larry would say. He's like, I'm not even starting when you're asking. I need a little bit more
Yeah,
time.
I just can't. Yeah. Yeah, see, it always goes wrong. I mean, it just, why would you do that to yourself? You know better.
Mm,
I told you it wasn't going to work. I mean, it's
mm,
probably just not the right time. I think, our bed was really comfortable this morning. I think we should just crawl back in and just,
mm.
hunker down. It was, it was nice and comfortable under the covers. And I think, why get out of our comfort zone? I think we just need to really just maybe think about it a little more,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
just
me too.
lay,
Yeah,
let's just lay about, give it a little more time,
yeah,
that
yeah.
uncomfortable action. That's just, we don't need that. We don't need to do that.
No, no, no. And they keep saying it right in these trainings. Take uncomfortable action, but Lazy Larry's like, hell no.
So tiring. It's
Action
tiring.
itself is already enough. Like uncomfortable action. My bubble bath, you think? My bubble bath.
It's
I don't
horrible.
want this. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Lazy Larry would do. Great job. So what would consistent Chris say to his cow who's he's kind of inside of his head, knowing that the next amazing speaking opportunity is about to happen?
Oh, I got news for you, Mr. Goodnight. If you want your speaking opportunity to work out and you really want to have a good night, well, then you better find the key, as in Francis Scott Key, the writer of the national anthem. You have got to practice. You have to start and say, oh, say, can you see? Oh, say, can you see? By the dawn's early light, you have to do it over and over and over. Because the only way that you're going to have a good night is if you practice. Practice makes perfect, and you're going to check off every single line of that song so you don't forget it. Otherwise, forget about going to that baseball stadium, dude.
Yeah, I love this consistent, Chris. And I just want to make sure that I really understand it right. Like, how many times do we need to practice? And is this only during the days, or are we just going through the
I
whole night?
think
Like, when do
all
we?
day and all
Hmm.
night for a good
Oh,
night.
yeah. 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 Who has this voice sometimes in your head? Like, you did not practice enough. And now Lori says it's the first step of being this number is not enough practice. Now I need to practice even more. And my consistent Chris already says that I cannot go to sleep. Right? It's not you. It's consistent Chris who just wants to help you out. He just wants to protect you. And thank you all, by the way. This was an amazing one. Who got some insights from this role play? Not even being on the spot, but just recognizing the voices that are out there, making it a little fun. So every time now when you hear, oh, let's think about it, you're like, oh, bubble bath, bubble bath, bubble bath. Is it me or is it consistent Chris? Is it Lazy Larry? Is it Danny Danger? What's their intention right now? And is it really true? Because what we're going to do now, we're going to do a small exercise. You're going to go into breakout rooms, you're having conversation, and then we're going to come back and have a hot seat. Okay? So when we go through all of this and we have this past experience, who remembers an experience? Like Kyle just shared his, but is there a moment in time that you can come up with? You don't have to share it now, just raise your hand if you can think of a moment, either when you were a kid or when you were more adult. I will share some, like one of the people I worked with, I just shared one, but another one is she grew up in a war zone and she saw her uncle literally get beaten to death and get into prison because he was just not agreeing with the government. Now, these are kind of extreme, but the one that I shared of like, oh, there she shares again. You know, that could be one as well. Every time that someone says, your opinion doesn't matter, or you grew up and your parents said, you are a little enthusiastic, you're a little loud, maybe you want to quiet a little down because it's a little annoying. Whatever it was for you, like, can you just think of a moment, raise your hand if you have a moment where it was impactful for you and you created a connection, speaking might actually be unsafe. Now, I want you to think of this moment when we're going to go through this exercise. Because knowing that our minions are mostly focused on survival and not thriving is sometimes to make it easy for us to remember the situation. We just remember different parts of it. Because Lazy Larry is too lazy to remember it everything. They're just like, we just create it in one chunk, we save it right here. Then Danger was so focused on the danger that he only remembered the danger. And Consistent Chris was writing so much down about the danger that he was not even looking when something good happened. So what I would love for you to do, if you feel comfortable, is closing your eyes. If it's not so comfortable or you don't like it, you can look down. And I'm just going to talk you to a super, super short exercise. Because what you're going to do is you're going to go back to that moment. You're going to close your eyes. You take a deep breath through your nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more time, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And what you're going to do is, in your memory, in your mind, go back to that specific moment. You're not going to go inside of your body, but you're looking upon it. You're kind of floating around and you see yourself in that moment where that one thing happened to you, was said to you, was said to someone else. And you see playing what happened, and you totally understand why Consistent Chris was writing down the rules of not speaking up, and why Danny Danger was putting on the alarm, and while Lazy Larry is not ready to spend some energy on speaking. But now you're floating around, you also see that they were really, really busy writing all this down. They were kind of like running against each other and panicking together. And you see something beautiful happen. Something that you you didn't see at the time, but now you're floating above it and you see it playing out. You see this thing that you're like, wow, I totally forgot about that. Maybe I did say, oh shit, in the baseball stadium. But my girlfriend was my biggest support, and she's my wife now, you know? That was so beautiful. I totally forgot about that. And maybe my parents did say that I should shut up sometimes. But they could also really appreciate some new ideas that I had. And, you know, my parents also had those voices inside of their head, so I can, you know, find a little grace for them. It was not what they meant literally. It was just in that moment where they were hungry. I totally forgot about that. I remembered like it was true forever. But it's not what it was. And you start to see now around the situation what actually happened as well. Some beautiful moments. And with that presence that you have floating around it, and with the knowledge you now have, you start to feel what you actually gained through this life experience. How much stronger it made you. How much smarter you got from that. And how through all of that, you're actually the person that you are right now. And you can contribute your gifts with other people. And you feel what it feels like. That love for that moment. And you're really focused on the beauty around it. And the beauty starts to increase. And the feeling inside of your body of appreciation, of love, maybe a little surprise, starts to increase as well. And you start to feel it around your whole body. And with that feeling, you look at the situation. You can put your hands on your heart if that feels authentic to you right now. You start to feel the feeling more and more. Wow. This moment in time, Danny Danger, Lazy Larry, and Consistent Chris define this as dangerous. But you're seeing the beauty now and you're sharing with them the updated reality. You're showing them there was beauty there too. So Consistent Chris is writing some other rules down. Danny Danger is lowering his guard a little bit. Not too much. I mean, still Danny Danger, but a little bit. And Lazy Larry is just actually relaxing in the moment. And you feel the feeling through your whole body. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths. And with every breath, you feel it more. And after the 3rd breath, you're going to open your eyes again. Beautiful. And in this state, we're going to get into breakout rooms. We're going to get into breakout rooms of 4 or 3, depending on which group you end up at. So you see 2 or 3 other people. And what you are going to share is, what is your new story around public speaking based on this updated experience? To what moment did you time travel back to, and what's your new meaning you give to it? Okay? And this is what I say to every single training that I give. Because what is a stage? It can be a TEDx. Yes, it can. Yes, it can be sitting next to Tony Robbins or being the star of the show. But what if it's a moment in time where you share your message to more than one person? And what if this breakout room is a stage? So don't be surprised if you meet someone that you had to meet that somehow got into your breakout room. And that this week you're going to plan an Instagram live, to go live together and to understand more of what we're doing. So you can go live together and your audience is going to get to understand you together, which is the beauty of this community. The speaking engagement, your next one is closer than you think. So with the thumbs up, is it completely clear what we're going to do in this breakout room? You're going to get 10 minutes. So we're going to get you there. You have 10 minutes. You're all going to share. And then we will go back and we do some hot seats and Q&A. Okay, we're going to extract, peel off the onion even better. So you can up level that number that you started this training with. Okay, so we're going to get you in breakout rooms in 3, in 2, in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Leduc, can you hear me? If you can accept your invitation, please, to room 4. Let me know if you need some help. You're on mute right now. Hello?
Yeah, yes, you hear me? Yeah.
I can hear
How do
you,
I
yes.
get, yeah, how do I get into the room?
So on your Zoom screen at the bottom, you should have a bar there. There should be breakout rooms there. If it's not written, breakout rooms, you can click on the 3 dots and it should show up.
Paramètres de réunion arrière-plan effet.
You can widen your screen as well.
I don't see it.
Don't see it. Are you on a computer?
No, I'm on my phone right now.
Okay.
Déconnecté. I don't see it in the 3 dots.
Let me see if I can move you manually. Let me move you to, let's see if this works. See if
I
something shows
see
up.
participants. Maybe I just like.
Cool. Love your minions.
It's a fun way to make something profound like fun, because you can make it really, really heavy, and I don't like it.
Yeah. And memorable.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
memorable. So like you said, right? When
Yeah.
situations come up, you'll be like, which one is this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it.
I would like to create like some sort of like experience or game. So people really go through it and it becomes something you laugh at, because this is now not something you're fearful of. It's like, haha, there it is again. It's any danger. Of course it is. Makes
Yeah.
total sense for him, right? So I just want to understand him better so I can chill out with him instead of harm or
I could see you making a children's book out of this.
really.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah.
Right, because if you can teach children and then they can like understand like how they should, think or
I'm
shift.
gonna write that down. Like, who
Oh,
knows?
really? Yeah, it would be so cool. Can you imagine that? If they oh, Danny Danger's showing up right now.
Yeah. Yeah, how cool is that, right? And it's so
Yeah.
fun for me because, like I always like almost all of my lessons are like a game. And adults are the biggest children, Like it's just hilarious. And then so much comes up because, oh, I didn't want to play that role. And then we're all adults, It's so funny. What does it say? What can you learn from it? And that's the fun part.
Yeah, totally love it. I see room 5 only has 2 people. Is that okay, or do you want me to split them up and put them in a room of 3 so that there are 4 in each of those?
No, it's good.
That's good, okay.
Yeah, because now they're already, in
Conversing.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people couldn't join the whole session.
Sorry, what?
A lot of people couldn't join the whole session.
Yeah, I think some people left. We give them a warning of 4 minutes. Right.
Ah, you're raising your hand immediately. You know the drill.
We got it. The privilege to be only with one person in a room and to meet the right person, and we figured this out, and we come up with the things. So the three minions, right? The lazy Larry, the other Jew. So the other three minions who balance the formula is confidence, preparation, and urgency. What do you think for
I
a
love it.
successful
I
speech?
love it. And before we're diving in there, we're gonna do some overall shares. So first of all, welcome back everybody. Who listened to a story that was really, really impactful for you to listen to? With a raise of hands. In your breakout room, who heard someone else's story and you're like, wow, thank you for sharing that. And then second question, who saw someone that raised their hand who was in your breakout room? Maybe you weren't focused on it, but 80% raised their hand. They're talking about you. You know, the power of stories are the stories who are being told. I always talk about 3 levels of speakers. The educational speaker, the motivational speaker, and we're all striving to for is transformational speaker. And that level is always expanding. It's never finished, right? And whatever level you are, what brings us all together is that we're actually sharing something, right? Like a story that's not told is a story that cannot reach that impact, that transformation that we're looking for to help people to get to. So thank you all for playing full out, for still being here, for showing up in the breakout room. Like, that's just the coolest thing ever. Now, what I'm curious about is there someone who would love to share something that when going through this process, they remembered a part of themselves, a part that actually happened that they forgot, that they didn't save in their maybe primary part? I saw someone like nodding. I see her smiling now. Would you like to share this in front of the crowd? I see her now looking away, so I'm not sure. Are you okay with that? With the thumbs up? I know that you know that I'm talking to you. Okay, let's go. So Sophia, I would love to bring Helga up the stage. Helga, welcome. Thank you for playing full out. And this is going to be a fun conversation between the two of us, okay? And this conversation we're going to have together, and other people are going to learn from that. And that's the power of speaking. So what was a moment, if you feel comfortable sharing, that you went back to and you really, when going through the process, you remembered a part, they were like, wow, that actually also happened and I totally forgot about it?
Well, I just remember all my life, I'm just too afraid to speak in front of people. I made myself invisible. I realize now that I actually thought that I was invisible, and it's not safe to be seen. And as you were doing that exercise, I was right in a lounge when I was a little girl, and in our sort of culture, it was always believed that children should be, it was actually said, I could even feel the colors of my parents' friends, and I remember the words that were said, that it was children should be seen and not heard.
Wow.
And I totally forgot that. I realized that that was the start of it as a little girl, that I'm not valued or not appreciated what I have to share.
Wow. Wow. That is such a profound insight and something that we can all have a lot of grace for. So I would love actually to do an exercise with you, and by doing it with you, we're doing it together. Like, who's willing to play along with this exercise, because this is actually for everybody. Because by the way, first of all, Helga, you are super brave. because I'm putting on your spot right now and you're incredibly vulnerable, which by the way is the #1 characteristic of a transformational speaker. Okay, so what you're doing is exceptional. And what the beauty is of public speaking, we didn't talk about this yet, but public speaking is a magnifying glass for fear and patterns. Because public speaking is basically the place where patterns or fears that are already running your life, but are just a little invisible because it's not so noticeable, because you're not put on a spot. And when someone says, okay, Helga, let's come on the stage, then Danny Danger is louder, Consistent Chris is louder, Lazy Larry is louder, and they're all saved based on these past experience and on our human behavior in general. So we all have them. That's what makes it so uniting. That's what makes us also, when you are sharing it, that we can all connect, because we all share the human experience. We might not go through what you're going through or what you've went through, but we can all find the emotion that we got through another experience. And that's the beauty of storytelling. Right? So by you telling it, you're actually the brave one who says, you know what, I will be the vulnerable one sharing it so we can all have a transformation. That's what you're doing now, which is actually incredible. So the magnifying glass of your patterns, and you're saying I was afraid or I was actually told not to be seen. Now, what I figured out and what I learned from a lot of mentors is that there's a lot of basic beliefs that public speaking triggers, and that is, I'm afraid to be seen. You want to write this down. I'm afraid to be seen. I'm afraid to be heard. I'm afraid to be known. I'm afraid to be big. And last one, I'm afraid to be rich. And there's all certain beliefs and all certain life experiences that public speaking really triggers. And then we're saying, yeah, we're afraid of public speaking, right? But let's figure out what of these 3 really caused it and then solve the right problem with the right solution. So what I love, what you just experienced, Helga, is that you really went back to the moment where some sentence was said to you, and maybe you even literally saw Danny Danger, Lazy Larry, and Consistent Chris running around, writing it in their book like, I'm not there to be seen. I'm not there to be seen. I'm not there to be, or I'm not there to be heard. I'm there to be seen, not to be heard. So better not speak up, because in order for us to get our love from our parents is now the new rule. We should not speak up. So now every time Lori Nobelis is going to say, hey, next week's public speaking class is going to be fun. You're going to learn a lot of crazy things to have more impact and more income. Part of you wants it. But there's still a rule in your unconscious. When you speak up, you won't get love. Now there's 2 human needs that we all need, or feelings we want to feel on a consistent basis, otherwise we literally die. And that is to feel enough and to feel loved. That is to feel enough and to feel loved. So if you have a story inside of you that unconsciously said speaking up equals no love, yeah, you no go. That's going to be really hard. So with our practice to really go back to that moment, experience something good that happened as well, and send a lot of love and grace to that specific moment. And maybe with the consciousness that you have now, give so much love to that younger version of yourself with everything that you know now, and that you can see yourself as worthy from the consciousness you have now. What did you experience? What did you feel?
Are you asking me what did I experience when in real time, or as when you went through the exercise and see something beautiful as well?
Yeah, when we went to the exercise, like, was there
When I
something?
went through exercise, yeah, I was thinking, and how I also with clients, you know, when they're hard on themselves, and when I deal with children and how I would support a child. So I was like thinking of and visualizing the adult or a adult to actually come down to my level, and were excited with like real excitement in their eyes to be really curious in what I have to share, and was really like smiling, and how I lit up and could share, and have that connection.
Wow. I know we have 4 minutes left, but I feel in my gut that I would love to do something. Is it okay if we go through one more closed eye process all together to really get a transformative experience? Is it okay with you as well, Helga?
Yes, sure. Can I ask one thing? Sorry, it's
course.
afraid to be seen, heard, known, to be rich, and what there was a fifth one.
Big.
Big. Okay.
And loved can be in the list as well. So be seen, heard, loved, big, rich. Yeah,
Thank you.
beautiful. So what I would love to ask you and everybody can do it from their own experience, but I'm going to talk to Helga, but everybody's going to do it for themselves. So we're going to close our eyes one more time. We're going to take a deep breath in, deep breath out, deep breath in. All right, we're going back to that moment in time where you experienced something that wasn't that nice. It happened in your case, Helga, when you were a little girl. And you're hovering around yourself, like this energy, not in the body, but you're experiencing you as a little kid. But now, instead of just feeling it with the energy that you are hovering around it, you actually start to kneel in front of you. Your current version is going to kneel down. The adult that your younger version of you is seeing right now is actually you right now. And you're going to tell her exactly what you know is true now. And you're imagining this whole conversation in this moment, and you're speaking to her. You're telling her the truth. And dare to smile a bit when you say it. That this little girl is so beautiful. So beautiful. Expressing herself, her truth, the light. That she's so enough just by being her. That's all she needs to be. That's what she needs to be. Just her. And tell her. And let her feel that she's safe with what you know now. Everything that you've went through, just tell her that she's safe. That she's enough. She always was. She always will be. Because you got her back. Always. You always had. You always will be. And feel how she feels. Just knowing that. You're going to give her a hug. A good one. Like the squeezy one. You're both laughing. That was pretty tight squeeze. But it was from love. From love for love. And with that feeling, you're breathing in your nose, through your nose, out through the mouth for 3 times. And after the 3rd time, you're going to open your eyes. And you're going to bring her with you. The feeling inside of that safety. How does that feel, Helga?
Yeah, amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. You totally
even
got it.
felt like releases in my face.
Wow.
Thank you. Well, I
Wow.
started as a 2, and I think I'm more like at a 5 or a 6 now. Thank you.
Wow. That's so amazing. That's so amazing. It's a shame that we're through the time. I would love to hear the experience from everybody and know that the power of all of this, all that we're doing every single week, this work compounds. Okay? There's a certain unconscious level we're doing a lot of work. Unconscious level we're doing a lot of work. And sometimes one needs a little bit more attention, sometimes the other, right? We cannot just do this. We also need to learn how to create the story, how storytelling really works, and all of those things. But just know that you're all speakers. And whatever number you were, and this is like the most epic, and maybe we can end with this. Like, what was your number before? And then you can type a line, and what's your number now? No judgment. You can put it in the chat. So Helga just shared I was a 2 and now I'm actually a 5 or 6. That's a lot. That's a big jump, Helga. That's like 3x through 90 minutes. Imagine you're there going to be next week. You're going to be at 20 in 3 weeks from now. That's incredible. A 7 and now a 9. What else? She's now a 9, a 7, now a 10. What else? And there's no judgment if it's the same or maybe even lower because you're more aware of something. There's no judgment. We just want recognition. We just want awareness. I think my number now is a 9. Wow. What else? What do you got? From a 9 to a 9.5 in just 90 minutes. What? You are incredible. You're an incredible impact makers. I absolutely so super appreciate all of you, and I don't say this lightly. I really, really enjoy spending time with you. We are the ones who are changing the world one step at a time, starting with ourselves, right? What Dean always says, it's not pointing at the government, it's not pointing at someone or something. It is us changing right now, right here, ourselves, so we can help others. And that's what we're doing. So keep doing, keep going. Keep speaking, keep sharing. Your story matters, you matter, you're good enough, not in a week, not in 2 weeks, not if, when, then, now, here, together, okay? So, who's gonna be here next week? Who am I gonna see? I hope all of you, because this is a transformational journey that starts to compound. So with that said, I'm giving you a big hug right now. So you did with your little kiddo, and keep shining. All right. See you all next.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That was amazing. Thank you so much.
Super. Shut up, Jen.
My discotheque